Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Psych Talk. Today I will talk about the psychological impact of your closest relationships. So, as we know, humans are social creatures, and so from an evolutionary perspective, our survival depended on being part of a group. And even today, the quality of our social connections is one of the strongest predictors of mental health and overall well being. And so, what are positive relationships? Well, those are supportive relationships that boost our mood, reduce stress, and even improve physical health. And they give us a sense of belonging and security, which helps buffer against anxiety and depression. And what are toxic relationships? Well, toxic or strained relationships can have obviously the opposite effect, which is characterized by constant criticism, manipulation, or lack of support that can lead to chronic stress, low self-esteem, and even physical symptoms like headaches or fatigue. And obviously, we know that quality over quantity. So basically, the quality of our closest relationships and not the quantity has the greatest impact on our happiness and mental health. So it's not about how many friends you have, but it's about how those friends make you feel. But how do you know if a relationship is toxic? How do you identify these patterns? Well, first of all, we have to look for constant criticism or judgment. And I'm not talking about constructive criticism or feedback. I'm talking about judgment and constant criticism. So does this person make you feel like you're not good enough? And criticism can erode your confidence over time. And so we have to look out for that. The second one will be manipulation. So do they use guilt, blame, or emotional blackmail to get their way? These behaviors are often subtle, but obviously can leave you feeling powerless. And three, energy drains. So do you feel exhausted or anxious after spending time with them? Pay attention to how your body reacts. Four, lack of reciprocity. So is the relationship one-sided? Because healthy relationships involve a balance of giving and receiving. And five, boundary violations. So do they respect your boundaries or do they push past them? And a lack of respect for boundaries is a major red flag. So if you're noticing any of these patterns in your relationship, it might be time to take a step back and reassess. And remember, recognizing toxic dynamics is the first step toward change. And how do we cultivate healthier connections? Well, we have to communicate openly. So healthy relationships thrive on honest and respectful communication. So share your thoughts and feelings and encourage others to do the same. Two, set boundaries. So boundaries are not about pushing people away. They're about creating a safe space for both parties. For example, if a friend tends to call late at night, let them know you need that time to recharge. Three, surround yourself with positive influences. So seek out people who actually inspire you and uplift you. So think of relationships as a garden. You want to water the flowers, not the weeds. And four, again, practice gratitude. I feel like I say this in every episode of my podcast. Show appreciation for the people who bring positivity into your life. A simple thank you, can go a long way in strengthening bonds. And also, last but not least, be selective with your time. You don't need to say yes to everyone or everything. Invest your time in relationships that bring value and joy to your life. In addition to close relationships, being part of a larger community is also incredibly important for mental health. And why does community matter? Well, communities give us a sense of belonging and purpose, and whether it's a church, a sports team, or an online forum, being part of something bigger than yourself can incredibly be fulfilling. And so, what is the role of these support systems? Well, during challenging times, a strong support system can be a lifeline. Friends, family, therapists, or support groups can provide emotional and practical help when you need it the most. And if you're feeling isolated, consider joining a club or, a group that aligns with your interests. Building a community takes time, obviously, but the effort is worth it. And let's do a quick exercise to assess your social circle. So, first of all, make a list. Write down the names of the people you spend the most time with. 2, evaluate the impact. Next to each name, write how they make you feel. Do they energize you or do they drain you? Do they support your goals or do they hold you back? And 3, take action. For relationships that feel positive, think about how you can nurture them further. And for those that feel draining or toxic, consider setting boundaries or limiting your interactions. And so, this exercise is not about cutting people off, but it's about becoming intentional with your relationships and also prioritizing your mental health. And thank you for joining me today. This is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. We're called Psych Talk Pod. Thank you.